Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the World Tapping Circle. I'm so pleased to be here with you. My name is Sonia Sophia. You are here with Surya and I, loving you up, helping hold space for the things that are working through your life, working through your heart, and important to you. So this is a powerful place to choose to be, and I'm so grateful that you're taking time for you, which enhances your life, which enhances all of our lives, because what's actually true and right for you is good for all of us. So thank you for doing your part to keep the vibe high on planet Earth right now. We all need to be uplifted and encouraged, and this is a really, truly authentic way to get yourself back into the groove and back into the flow. So welcome, Christina in Santa Rosa. I'm thrilled to be here with you. Hi, Jen from the woods in Quebec. Hi, Ruthie. So good to see you. Please go ahead as you enter the room and give us a hello and let us know where you're coming in from. We love to see the size and the shape of the circle each week. It changes. There's people from all different countries and all different time zones. Not everybody uses the chat function, which is totally fine. Don't feel like you need to do that. And a lot of people are watching this on replay, either due to work or sleep, because they're in a fully different part of the world. So I always want to remember that our replay people are as live and real and as important as our people who are here to make it with us during the live stream. Sweet John made it here tonight. Deep gratitude for you, my friend. Feeling a lot better today. Morning Glory, first time. Welcome. Susie from Indiana. Wow. And Mateo here with us in Austin. Noble in Modesto, California. Celestine, tried and true. Here you are again, Celestine. Bonsoir from Montreal. I see people are still piling into the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So the theme for today, as you will see in the chat room, is always there in the little green bar at the top, is from fear to faith. So I've had a really powerful fire walk in the last 24 hours, processing all kinds of different fears, renegotiating my contract with love and life and relationships, and coming out the other side feeling calm and connected to truth and updated and aligned. And I'm having a feeling that maybe many of us are going through a cycle of fears and worries about what may or may not work out. And this session is going to be based on helping you get from a place where you feel fearful or unsure or anxious and into a state of grace with feeling like you know things are going to work out and you've processed all the different aspects of it so that you can be calm and allow life to show up and create a more grounded and stable field for things to land and mature and blossom and pan out for you. Because as you know, when you're all jumbled up and confused and sad and scared and angry and up in your head and swirling with all the concerns and possibilities, it's really hard for life to hand you something because your hands are all waving in the air and you're not holding yourself steady enough to actually receive either the message or the blessing. And sometimes life will take something from you to give you something better. And if you're screaming and kicking and fussing because this is the best you've ever had and you have to let it go to get something even better, it can be really, really hard for life to deliver something that is actually a blessing if you just calm down and receive it as such. And of course, the human being wants all the facts up front. We want to know how it's going to work. We want to read the end of the book before we are done with the middle. And it can be really scary to continue that journey into the unknown in a trusting way. So we're going to all practice that in circle on some aspect of our lives. And hopefully you've got a little wiggle space that you can straighten out using this tap. So tune in for a second, take a few deep breaths. And just scanning your life, scanning yourself, scanning your experience of being alive. Maybe it's something in your body you're afraid. Maybe it's something in relationships or something in your finances or something in your career. Whatever it is, there might be many places, but pick the thing that would make the biggest difference if you got some actual peace delivered there and you're just like, that was really concerning me. And now I feel like more stable and calm here. What would make the biggest difference today for you? If we could wave a magic wand across some segment of your life and bring some more stability and peace and clarity for you and a sense of calm. And that's where we're going to focus this session. Okay, and as usual, I want to remind you that the link that you logged into this circle on is active for 7 days, connected to this very video. So if you don't want to go to the video library at worldtappingcircle.com in the members area and find it, which it's going to be the first one up, you can just use the link that you logged into, and boom, you can do the session again on a different aspect of your life in the next few days and use this session to your benefit on multiple areas. So everybody have an idea of where you want to aim this superpower love blast, where we're going tonight? Okay. So we're going to jump into the core causes questions. You'll see a screen share. You'll see a button pop up. If you're on a mobile device, scroll down, push the button. It'll say get started. And we'll take 5 minutes to ask ourselves what issue we want to focus on. Where it says, what is your issue? You're going to put this area of your life that's causing you concern or restlessness. And we're going to tap it out. Okay, see you guys in 5. Hopefully that was an enlightening experience for you. You got a really quick, like, wow, this is what's going on inside me. So now we're going to start tapping on all that new material that you've just stirred up. It's okay if you don't have all the answers to that survey. It's just a way for you to access your subconscious and start really looking at what's going on inside you. And the more often you do that, the more you know what to process, and you're not just up here on the superficial level. It's this person, it's that person. It's like, oh, it's actually connected to this old response, and the universe is playing it out for me. And if I just go down and work through that bottom couple of layers, this stuff falls away because there's nothing left for it to manifest from. This is you being a powerful creator being, and if you don't like what you're creating, let's check out where it came from and take care of that deep, deep subconscious level and watch how the events in your life transpire just because you took time. So it's very exciting. Okay, tapping the front of your chest. Let's give it a nice little massage here in the front of the chest. There's a little sore spot somewhere in there, feeling around. Where do you feel that? And tuning into your issue. What is it that you're working on that you've had a lot of fear or anxiety or stress around? And repeating after me, remembering that you can edit and change these words, please do, so that they more perfectly fit your own situation, even if it's the opposite of what I'm saying. We're going to go back and forth between the negative, give it a lot of love and empathy, and then start reprogramming ourselves with the more positive. Okay, here we go. Even though I have this issue, go ahead and say what that is. I'm deeply and completely willing to accept myself. And tap the eyebrows. And if that's too hard to say, I'm hoping to be completely willing to accept myself someday, maybe. Okay? Tapping the temples. This issue, state your issue again. Tap the cheeks. Part of me is really stressed. Tuning into that level of stress. Tapping under the nose. Where do you feel that stress in your body? Tapping under the lips. This stress in my body that I feel about, and say what your issue is again. Tapping the chest. I forgive myself for feeling so stressed, overwhelmed, and then whatever else is there for you to do. Maybe you feel sad, maybe you feel freaked out, maybe you feel angry. What else is there? I feel stressed, and what else? And breathe. Strong inhale, strong exhale. And tapping down to the front of the ribs, bottom of the rib cage, this stress. Say it again. Tuning into where you feel that sensation in your body. And side of the rib cage, this stress that I feel about, and say what it is that you're tapping on. Not what part of your body, but your issue. Tapping the inside of the wrist. Now, tune into that level of stress and anxiety, or whatever those feelings are. What would you give that as a whole? You just rated it, but I want you to rate it right now for yourself, just internally. Yeah, that's about a 10, or that's about a 9, or whatever that is for you. Tap the side of the thumb. These feelings of, state the negative feelings again. Tapping the index finger. I accept the part of me that's really, really worried, Tune in and see what it is that you're worried about. What are you afraid is going to happen? I'm afraid it's not going to work out. Tap the middle finger. I'm afraid. What else? Okay. And name a third thing that you're worried about in this area. You may be afraid it's not going to work out. Maybe you're afraid it's going to be a huge waste of time. Maybe you're afraid that it's going to look like it's working out and you're going to be really disappointed. Tap the little finger. These fears. Okay? Tap the side of the hand. Let's go back to the first thing that you said there in that list of 3 fears that you had. I'm really worried that what's going to happen? I'm going to end up how? Tapping the top of the head. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the back of the head and the side of the head. Even if this seems like it's probably going to happen, just like I said. Tapping the eyebrows. It's so hard for me to imagine it being any different than this. Tap the temples. Tuning into that first fear. I'm worried. What? Say it again. Tapping the cheeks. This stress. Tapping into the nose. I'm afraid it's going to turn out just like what? Is this related to another bad experience that you had or another story that you've heard or experienced? Often it is. Check and see. Tapping under the lips. Yeah, I'm afraid it's going to turn out like last time. Tapping the chest. And if that was true for you, that you have a reference for like, yeah, this thing happened before, so now I'm really worried about it happening like that again. Just know that you're not alone. This is how humans build their logic. They're like, well, it was like this, so it's probably going to be like that again. And maybe that's true, but maybe when you meditate on it and hold it emotionally as truth inside yourself, you actually bring that into your life and into your experience to prove yourself right, because we're such powerful creator beings. So let's clean up any possibility of your fear just remanifesting to prove you right because you meditated on it with such an emotional intensity that it just had to show up for you. Okay? So let's go back to what it reminds you of. I'm afraid it's going to turn out just like, and you've got 30 seconds. Just spill it. Here it is. Say it all. Just like what? Keep tapping and breathing. Tapping the bottom of the ribs. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm so afraid of that happening. Tap the inside of the wrist, because when it happened before, there was no way to fix it. It was a real mess. I was so upset. It was so scary. It cost so much. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm still recovering from the last time. Tap the index finger. Let's think about that memory. Describe it again. What's the most terrible part of what happened before? Tapping your middle finger. Keep expressing it. What do you remember happened? What was the most embarrassing or the most terrifying part of all of that? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even if I'm still trying to get over it. I was not feeling supported. I was feeling abandoned. I was feeling angry. I was feeling terrified. I was feeling broke or broken, whatever it is. Tap the little finger. Part of me still holding on to the pain of that experience. Tap the side of the hand. And I'm dreading that ever happening again or anything like that happening again. Tapping the top of the head. It's safe to discharge this old expectation based on what happened back and then describe back when I was still in school, or back in my last marriage, or with my last lover, or with my last roommate, whatever it is. Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head, eyebrows, and temples. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the cheeks. Tapping under the nose. Even if there's still some residue about what happened back when I was how old? And doing what? And feeling what? What was the result of how you felt back then? Feeling totally alone, or really misunderstood, or very overwhelmed. Tapping the front of the ribs. I accept the part of me that's still trying to protect myself from that experience reoccurring. Tap the side of the ribs. Because it was so hard the first time. Or it was so hard the last time. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I accept the part of me that's being extra cautious. And just give yourself some love. This part of you is doing a good job being a watchdog and making sure anything that even looks close to that is going to get, notification on that. Check it. Be careful. Tap the side of the thumb. I accept the part of me that's being really vigilant. Tap the index finger. It's really on guard. Tap the middle finger. Big breath. Just accepting that part of you that's doing a great job guarding your life from that bad experience. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I accept the part of me that wants to protect me by being really worried, by being freaked out in advance, just in case. Tap the little finger. That's trying to protect me from being scared or disappointed or unprepared. And tapping the side of the hand. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Even if I stay worried and protective, guarding my future from my past. And let's just look at that again. I'm guarding this beautiful, empty, innocent new space from a thing that's already happened and it's over that I survived. Because I'm trying to protect my emotional body from feeling so crushed or so devastated or so terrified or so confused. Tapping the top of the head. It's okay for me to process this earlier experience. I really needed what? What did you need back then? Give it to yourself right now. I really needed someone to understand me. Tap the eyebrows. I really needed someone to pay attention and help me. Tap the temples. I really needed what? Tapping the cheeks. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping into the nose, even though a part of me really needed what? Give it to yourself again. Give yourself that feeling of understanding or that feeling of safety, whatever was missing back then. Send it to your past self. So with the breath, tapping your chest, and send it backwards through your body, through the back side of you, back to who you were then, when you felt alone or when you felt terrified, when you felt out of control. And give yourself from the perspective you have now, that gentle support or that really clear guidance, whatever it is. And you might say to your past self, hey girl, you actually make it out alive. And it works. Or sweetheart, you got out of a bad situation any way that you could, full respect, and now you're safe. You did it. And now you can fully recover. You made it out. You managed to get through that. Tapping the front of the ribs. You made it to safe ground. And you're in this new place now. Tap the side of the ribs. You're in this new place and you actually have support. Check it out right now. You have support. You have my support. You have Surya's support. You have the whole circle's support. Good job finding some support for yourself. Tap the inside of the wrist. Feels good, huh? Tap the side of the thumb. It's okay for me to finally heal what happened that's related to this fear I have now. Tap the index finger. I forgive myself for blaming. Who are you blaming for what originally happened that reminds you and triggers you about what you're facing now? Like, forgive myself for still blaming my ex, or I forgive myself for still blaming myself. Tap the middle finger. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. It's okay if I don't want to forgive myself or anyone else. Check and see if there's this unwillingness to forgive the situation that happened way back. Because it was unfair. Tap the little finger because it was so sad, or maybe you really messed it up and you had a huge learning curve there. And it was just such a train wreck, right? Tap the side of the hand. I accept the part of me that does not want to forgive my part or anybody else's. Tap the top of the head. Let's hang out there for a minute. This part of me doesn't want to forgive. It just doesn't, Sonia. I'm not even going to do it. Come on. Tap the back of the head. I accept the part of me that wants to point the finger of blame, that wants to attack something or someone. Tap the eyebrows. I'm open to releasing the need to blame anyone, including myself, even if I was at fault. Like, check it out. So we can be accountable, but we don't have to continue to energetically attack ourselves with the energy of blame or guilt or shame for having to learn about life that way, or for having to learn about love that way. Tapping the chest. I accept this part of me that wants to continue to blame and shame who? Tap down to the front of the ribs. I'm getting my energy back. It's okay if it was my fault. It's okay if it was their fault or a combination. I'm releasing the need to attack or blame, and I'm keeping the wisdom gained. Tap the side of the ribs. If I stop blaming, am I going to forget what I need to do next time to keep that from happening? I don't think so. I think you're just going to feel better and actually be more capable. Tap the inside of the wrist. What if I forgave myself 100%, even if it was my fault, and I learned my lesson? Can you do that? Let's try. Ready? Let's forgive ourselves 20%. Feels pretty good. Down for 20. Tap the side of the thumb. What if I forgive myself 45.5%? Wow, big breath. Tap the index finger. What if I forgive myself 79%? Stretch, but come on, let's try it. Even if you created a lot of mess or a lot of upset, and maybe you even repeated it like a million dozen times. Tap the middle finger. Yeah, maybe I could forgive myself 98% for having to learn about life this way, for having to learn about money this way, for having to learn about relationships this way. Well, there you go. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I think you know where we're headed. Okay, fine. What would it be like to forgive myself 100%? I can always go back to blaming and judging and attacking myself later if I want to. But try it on. Put on the 100%. I absolve myself from any negative self-attack thoughts, from self-hatred or criticism. Because I didn't know what I know now. I didn't have the resources I have today. I needed those experiences, and I learned a lot, and I'm grateful. Tap the little finger. And now I know how to what did you get? What's it cooked down to? Like, I know how to be honest to myself. I know how to stand up for my truth. I know how to hold my center or hold my peace. I know how to process my fear and not project it onto everybody else and make it their problem. Wow. You're doing it. This is it. It's cooking on through. Here it goes. Tapping the top of the head. I love and accept myself. I got the lesson of. Say it again. Shout it out. What did you get? What's the secret toy surprise in all of this? Yes. Tapping the eyebrows. And because I learned this, tap the temples, as hard as it was, I now am able to what? I'm now able to slow down and take the time I need to honor myself or to reach out or to process instead of project. And for this, I'm grateful. So let's come back to the scenario of the day that you said was your issue at the very beginning. How intense is it now? Tap the front of the ribs. Are you noticing? Put in the chat if there's been a change in the more topical issue, the presenting issue, by processing what it reminds you of. Are you noticing that connection? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. Oh yes, says Surya. Amazing, right? So much of what we're doing and we think is all fresh and new is really replay. And we will keep replaying until we forgive and learn and take the wisdom in humbly and honorably say, I'm now going to act on this new version of me. The lessons of the past then heal. They disappear and we get to advance past the next lesson. And it's so exciting. So Golden Dragon says, yes, dissipation, opening up space that I didn't know was full. Beautiful. Mateo is saying yes. Mora is saying yes, so true. Micah says, so much acceptance. I feel calm. Check it out, you guys. We've really only tapped about 25 minutes. And you just shifted an entire years and years of stuff out of your nervous system in 25 measly little minutes. Keep it up. You are doing the good work. And every hour that you invest in this gives you years of peace and stability and sanity. Why do you need that? Because we have a crazy world out there. And if you want a sane world, you got to create sane people to operate the sane new world. Jen says, just dropping judgment changes it from an issue to a neutral concept. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. I didn't try to talk you out of anything. I said, keep it, honor it, have it, accept it. All you did was bring love and wisdom into the scenario. And you yourself healed your own psyche. And thus you manifest a different outcome. And that's where the faith comes in. So let's stop tapping for a second and just tune in and say, this presenting issue that I came to circle with, does it feel less likely to be a big problem now? As far as it's not really going to show up all weird like I thought it was, or it feels a lot less likely to continue, right? Because you're dismantling the actual energy that builds it from deep inside you to have to be yet another, what I call hitting the head with a wet monkey. I hate it when that happens. So let's do some more of the details, okay? Massaging the front of the chest. Don't ask me where I get my analogies. It's just, it's channeled. Here we go. Even though I've been telling myself what negative thoughts have you had about your issue that was your presenting issue that you came to circle with? I've been telling myself, here it comes again. I've been telling myself I'm a failure. I've been telling myself I'm heartbroken. What have you been telling yourself? Inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the side of the thumb. Even though I've been telling myself this, say it out loud again. Say that negative statement. Let yourself hear it, and then also bring empathy to the part of you that believes it. Yeah, been telling myself I'm never going to get it right. Been telling myself that I don't know what I'm doing. Tap the middle finger and breathe. Telling myself I can't do this. Big breath. Tapping the bottom of your fourth finger. I love and respect myself. Even a part of me believes this deep down. Tap the little finger. This part of me believes. Say the negative statement again. Tap this side of the hand. All right, so let's check in. Let's see if this is a borrowed thought. See if you picked this up from someone in your environment when you were a young person who had thoughts just like this in your family or said things like this to you. Oh, this was my mother's secret fear about herself. Who was it for you? Is it anybody? Doesn't have to be, but it very well might be. Tapping the top of the head, the sides of the head, and the back of the head. Eyebrows. I accept the part of me that's continued this fear that I picked up. Tap the temples from who? Whose is it? This is my mother's fear. This is my father's fear. Tapping the chest. I thought it was mine. Tapping under the nose. I've been carrying this and telling myself what? What's the negative thought based on that inherited belief? That I'm never going to get it right. That I'm just not enough. Or I'm never going to be loved. I'm just too much. Tapping the chest. I'm open to loving and accepting myself exactly as I am. Even if this has been a part of my mind and a part of my belief system for my whole life. Whose fear? Whose thought? Again, this was my mother's fear. Whose was it for you? Tap the front of the ribs. Go ahead and say what they believed. My mother believed she was never going to win in this area. And she was just going to have to make do. Tap the inside of the wrist. I love and respect myself. Tap the side of the thumb, and I'm giving myself permission to grow beyond that limitation that I adapted myself to as a child. Tapping the index finger, I adapted to this thought. Big deep breath. Tap the middle finger. I forgive myself for being so afraid of what? And so Megan's saying, not afraid I couldn't trust anyone around me. Okay? So what was it? That was this fear you inherited? Say it out loud. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I forgive myself for carrying this into my current life and projecting it into my future. Tap the little finger. Carrying this into my current life and projecting it into my future. It was true back then, so it's probably going to happen now, and it's definitely going to keep happening because it was true back then. Tap the top of the head. So, they say history repeats itself. Well, it doesn't have to. It only repeats ourselves because we're so afraid of it that we keep bringing it in and not learning from it and not making the adjustments and dreading it and then having to redo the lesson. So all we're going to do now is put a little faith into ourselves. So it's possible that I have grown past this limitation to a large extent. Tap the cheeks. Tune in and see if you've already done better than the people in your life that you inherited this fear from. Have you already passed and surpassed this blockage? I bet you if you're in this circle, you have. You're already doing miles better, right? Tap the chest. So logic is going to tell you that it's very likely you're going to triumph in this area. especially because you're sitting here focusing on it right now and dismantling it with your loving attention. Tapping the front of the ribs. So what's the opposite of that limiting belief? For example, it's never going to work out for me. It would be like, the universe is conspiring to make things work out in divine order and perfect flow and total alignment. Yeah. Tapping the side of the ribs. What's the positive version? Say it again. I'm open to the possibility of letting myself now believe what? Okay, and I know it may be hard to say at first. It's going to kick out a lot of residue that's still in that channel. So say it again. Here we go. I'm open to the possibility of tapping your thumb, imagining what outcome for myself? Imagining a life of deep, sacred intimacy. I'm allowing myself to imagine a life of true partnership and divine what? Tap the middle finger. I'm allowing myself to imagine this part of myself working beautifully. So if you're a visualizer, I want you to visualize right now, what would it look like for this part of yourself or your life or your relationships to work beautifully? How would it feel? Would it feel like warm and safe and secure? Would it feel fun and thrilling and exciting? Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. Go ahead and describe that. It would feel calm. It would feel inspiring. Tap the little finger. It would feel natural and normal for me. Tap the side of the hand. It would feel really empowering and mature. Tap the top of the head. I'm open to the possibility of creating this new experience for myself. And tap the eyebrows. Of having some faith in myself. What would that be like? To really, for once, say, you know what, sweetie? Just grab your little face and be like, I love you. You're doing it. It's working. Tap your cheeks. I believe in you. I see how hard you're working. I know you're growing. I trust you. Tapping into the nose. You're on the right path. Keep moving forward. Tapping under the lips. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep moving. Big breath. Tapping the chest. I'm giving myself this encouragement now. Tapping the front of the ribs. I'm giving myself some faith. Okay? So just tapping the chest. So let's think about faith. It's kind of a loaded word for some people. It's like, oh, you're asking me to believe in something I can't see? It's like, yeah, because that brings it into existence. Remember how meditating on this invisible fear, you can see it in your head, but you're not seeing it in front of you because it's not really happening. It's happening back there. So you can actually do the same thing with like the positive version, being like, I'm going to imagine something that's not happening yet, but it's out there and I'm going to bring it here by sending my love into the future. And being like, wow, this is going to be fun and playful and exciting and enjoyable and more beneficial than I ever knew. This is going to be beautiful. I'm giving myself the possibility of experiencing those emotions. So what are 3 emotions that if you had faith, you'd be like, yep, it's going to be like this, this, and this. I just know it. 3 things. And go ahead and type that into the chat. What are 3 positive feelings that you would have if you had total faith and confidence in this working out? I would feel, yeah, like I'd won the jackpot. Okay? And now you're going to take those 3 feelings. Christina's saying calm, loved, and hopeful. So you're going to take those 3 feelings, and one at a time, you're going to tune yourself to the experience of that for just a few seconds. Megan is saying capable, empowered, and strong. Kim says peaceful, happy, and confident, honored, nurtured, understood, like I can save the world, and unlimited energy of love, says Laura, of course. Okay, so let's tap the chest and take that first feeling in that list. And I want you to tune in. What does that feel like? Feeling number 1, that positive feeling. And for just a few seconds, let your body feel that. What does it feel like? What's the feeling of that in your physical body? Okay, tap your eyebrows, tuning into that feeling number 1. Let your body get used to the sensation. It might be kind of a new sensation. Tapping the cheeks. I'm getting used to this lovely feeling of, say the feeling again. Tapping into the nose, letting myself normalize this feeling for myself. Of course I feel this way. What's the feeling called? Imagine that being a natural, normal, typical feeling for you. Yeah. If it's calm, it's like, yeah, I'm the calmest person I know. Everyone can be losing it, and I'm just like smoothing on down the road. Tapping the chest. Breathing. Now we're going to go to feeling number 2. You had 3 in that list. What's that second positive feeling feel like? So if it was confident, you'd be like, confident. It makes me sit up a little straighter. It makes me feel like level-eyed. It makes me hold my head up. I feel confident, not ridiculous, like, I'm the best, but more like, yes, I've got this. I've got it, and it's good, and I do believe in myself. It's natural for me to feel confident here. I've earned this feeling of confidence. Yes. Good job. Tap the front of your ribs. Feel it again. Let your body get used to this feeling. Tell your body, hey, body, get used to this new feeling of, and say the feeling. Tap the side of the ribs. Let's do it again. Hey, sweet body, let's get used to this new feeling of, say your feeling again. Total satisfaction. Ooh. Yeah, baby. Up the inside of your wrist. I'm allowing myself to normalize this new feeling of, and say what it is. Tapping the side of your thumb. Let your body digest that again. Maybe a brand new sensation, because this is a whole new part of yourself that you've never opened up. You might be the first person in your family to have this deep, good feeling. It's okay. Somebody's got to be the first one out. Tap the index finger. I'm giving myself the possibility of now feeling what? Say it out loud. Middle finger, say it again, a little bit louder. And bottom of your fourth finger, say it one more time as if you really believe it. Okay. Last time, we're going to say that one with a bit more enthusiasm. Come on, people, let's do this. Tap the side of your hand. It's safe for me to let myself feel this way now. Okay, wiggling that down into the good feeling soup that you're making inside your body. You got one more good feeling. We've got about 5 minutes left in the circle. Here we go. I know it's a big one, y'all, but we're going for it. We didn't come here to screw around on this earth. We came here to set this world on fire with our love and bring peace. Tap the top of the head. Here we go. Even though a part of me hasn't experienced, and say feeling number 3, what is it? A whole lot of feeling of what? Tap the cheeks. I'm open to this new feeling. And what area of your life are you going to put the feeling in? For example, contentment in my relationship, or prosperity in my career. Tapping the chest. I'm giving myself this possibility. Let your body feel what that would feel like. As if you'd never been hurt or told anything other than like, of course that's a normal thing. Like, oh, if I was a little kid, how would a little kid be holding this? Like, wee, this is awesome, of course. Tapping the front of the ribs. Allowing this new feeling of, go ahead and say what that is. Letting yourself feel it in your body again. Where does that land in your body, this beautiful new feeling? Tapping the side of the ribs and breathing. Inside of the wrist. Allowing myself to imagine it's possible to now feel, and go ahead and say that feeling one more time. Tapping the side of the thumb and breathing. Big deep breath. Tapping the index finger. It's safe for me to normalize this feeling too. Giving myself this beautiful new beginning. Tap the middle finger. I allow myself to believe this part of my life into existence. Right? So you can fear something into existence, but you can also believe something into existence with trust and faith. And it does move mountains. And once you really activate this power, you can create so much for so many people. Tap the little finger. I'm giving myself this new possibility of feeling wet. What's your third feeling? Let's say it again with a bit more enthusiasm. Wake your brain back up. Tap the side of the hand. It's safe for me to do this. Tap the top of the head. I am doing this. Eyebrows, this is happening. Okay? Awesome. Tapping all over the body. Say 5 or 6 loving and respectful things to yourself right now. Get used to speaking well and kindly to yourself instead of criticizing yourself. Hey, sweet self, I'm proud of you for showing up. You've had a very, very long day, and you're still here, and I'm really proud of you. You're doing it. Doing a beautiful job. You're growing, you're blossoming, and the world's a better place because you're here. And I'm learning. All right. So we're going to do our check-in now. Tuning into the issue that you originally had. What number was it at the beginning? Do you remember, as far as emotional intensity, and where do you think it is now? And how are you feeling? What's your level of faith in yourself or in this process? Actually, somehow, magically, you may not know how, but the sense that it's going to be okay. Noble says, I'm down to a 3 from a 9. That's awesome. Megan, also a 9, down to a 3. Amy, a 10 to a 3. Maura, an 8 to a 2. Deep gratitude. Marie, an 8 to a 1. I feel great and safe. Jen's dropped from a 10 to a 4. 9 and Ann to a 2. Marquesa, a 10 to a 2. Incredible, zinging with life and laughing. Woo! Team Love, a 7 to up to a 10 and now to a 0. Boo! Did the wave. Beautiful work. Golden Dragon, down to a 5. A lot opening up a much deeper insight. Kim, halfway there. Good, 50%. It's in an hour of time. From an intense 8 down to a little old 4. Mateo, an 8 to a 3. Moving gently. Beautiful. Trisha, a 10 to a 3. Courage and lightness emerging. Micah, a 10 to a 4. Ruthie, an 8 to a 3. So much better and deep gratitude. I'm grateful to have this practice with you. You know, sometimes I'm like, is it even worth doing this circle? It's a lot of time and energy and money to keep producing this day after day, year after year. And I think of you. I think of what you're doing with your lives and how much love impacts me when it shows up for me. And I'd like to be helping you have that love in your life, that this circle is a continuous, supportive, ongoing stream of love into the world. And if you value this circle, please help us build it. We actually need more people to jump on circle with us so that we can afford to keep doing it. So if you've got friends who are struggling, say, sweetie, come with me, come do the circle, get a subscription. It's really inexpensive, and it is, I think, one of the best forms of therapy that we've got. It's so fast and so deep. So I love you. I'm so excited to see what you're noticing. Thank you for chiming in the chat. And help us build this circle out. Let's see if everyone brings one friend. We'll double our circle in a week. So I'll definitely be here next week for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of you at Burning Man. I wanted to show you here. This is the card. You're getting the sneak peek, first preview of the cards I'm giving out on the Playa this year. I will be at Star Roadhouse and at Playa Alchemist for those of you who are burners. And Star's at 9 and G, and that's 2 to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Friday. And at Playa Alchemist, which is at 10 and G, 1 to 3 p.m. on Saturday. And I'm not going to turn the camera around in my studio and show you, but I am surrounded by ball gowns right now, huge ball gowns. I'm very excited. So I love you all. I can't wait to hug you in person or see you in the dust. And I definitely will see you in circle.